opener. Hardly know her.
Fuck, no, we're not doing that.
Do you have a better one?
I think any of them would, just
Okay.
going into the show would have been better than that.
Do a better one then. Bet. Too long quiet.
Okay.
You
Alright.
snooze, you lose, buddy. Opener, I hardly know her. Welcome back to Reading Held Hostage. My name's Blue and I love to read.
I'm Justin, I hate reading.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Have you considered not hating reading?
No.
What did you think of our last book? I am number 4.
Mid.
Mid? Okay, so put it in between Twilight and Hunger Games or before Twilight and Hunger Games. How would you rank the 3 we've read so far?
Well, we've read 4.
Okay, well, Warrior Cats doesn't count because you're mean to Warrior Cats.
So far, this is probably the best one.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't think Hunger Games was the best one?
No.
What?
No, I don't like Hunger Games.
I'm actually concerned about that. I Am Number 4 is much worse than Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's... I don't know. It's like... There's not as much cringe shit in it so far.
In I Am Number 4? What's the cringe shit from Hunger Games? Just the Gale stuff.
I don't want to say war crimes are cringe, but... Like, the... everything between.
High-key war crimes? Kind of cringe.
High-key war crimes, cringe.
Low-key?
And being cringe, worst war crime.
No. No, I think there are worse.
No, being cringe is the worst one.
So, today we're going to start The Power of Six, which is the next book in the I Am Number 4 series. Are you ready?
What about 5?
5 comes later.
Okay.
So, before we start, what do you think is going to happen in this book?
6 is going to be in it.
6 was in the last book.
6 is going to be in this one.
Better guesses.
7's going to eat 9.
I hate you.
That's why 6...
I actually hate you. Tell me real guesses. Or I'm getting Faith to do the podcast with me from now on.
Oh, no,
She has better friends who give us reviews.
No, Blue, don't.
Yeah, I know. I feel so bad for the husband. Real guesses. I actually don't think Faye read these books either.
More cool dogs.
Okay. Can I have a couple of guesses?
No, that's...
Couple of guesses. I asked for so little. All I want is mashed potatoes all the time, nonstop. That's not a hard one. 2, 5 guesses from this book.
5?
Maximum. You've given me 1 real guess. And instead bitched about it for 2 minutes.
6 is... What's his face? 6's French guy is not going to be dead.
6 is Sapon?
Yeah.
Okay. Sapon.
Sam's going to die. Fuck that guy.
Okay, there are 6 books in this, or 7 books in this series. You think they're killing Sam right now?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting choice.
Someone gets arrested.
Okay. I'll take those 4. Was that 4? Yeah, the multiple dogs, Sapon, dead Sam, and arrests.
Yep.
Okay, those feel fair. Now, where are my mashed potatoes? Because I said I only really wanted 2 things.
Not doing that.
Will you actually help me with mashed potatoes
No.
later?
No.
Please, all I want are mashed potatoes.
I believe in you.
I don't. This baby has been sucking the life out of me.
But I believe in you.
We only have, what, 4, 5, less than 4 months, less than 3 months now? She sucks all my energy out. I just want mashed potatoes. I beg of you, sir. Please. We'll discuss it later. And by discussing, I mean you'll be making me mashed potatoes. Okay, so in this next book, The Power of Six, we get 2 different POVs. We've never had that before. I hate multiple POVs.
You've mentioned that.
not in the podcast probably, or did I?
I bet you have.
I actually, okay, so here's the thing, is I don't like it because it kind of feels like lazy writing, because it's used multiple times in books like this, where they're like, here's this big plot thing, POV switch. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then usually it's like for this book in particular, they're like split up in literally 2 different countries. Mm-hmm. So we're getting like John's story and then like the other character's story like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh, there's a time difference too?
Yeah.
Cool. Radical.
So it's I don't know, it maybe lazy writing's not the right word, but it just feels like,
no, lazy writing. Fuck this dude.
Pittacus lore. No, it just, I don't know, it just feels like unnecessary. I'm trying to think of a book I've read where I felt like...
Dude, this guy's name is like someone who would take your children if you don't spin hay into gold.
What? What did you just say to me?
This guy's name is similar to...
Who spins hay into gold?
The princess. So she does... Or not the... I don't know. But it's someone so they don't lose their firstborn.
To whomst?
The guy with the weird-ass name that... you gotta guess his name so he doesn't take your kid.
As you can tell, we've been reading a lot of stories to our unborn child, and apparently we haven't read enough because Justin has made up a...
No, that's a real one.
Okay, the only thing I know about what you're telling me is that it was in Shrek 4.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Was it Shrek 3 or 4? I think it was Shrek 4. Anyways, like I said, POV, so I'm gonna introduce the important characters because we're doing our... What are you staring at me like that for?
I'm gonna fight Blue this episode.
As long as you fight me with a mashed potato masher, I'll survive. I'm so hungry. Okay, John Smith, number 4, main character.
We're gonna have to stop halfway through this episode so you can make mashed potatoes.
We already decided that was gonna happen. I just didn't realize I was gonna get this hungry so early. But I am hungry. Okay, John Smith, Henri Smith, he's John's dead Sapon. Sam Good, alien enthusiast. Sarah Hart.
I forgot Henri dies.
Dead. He's already dead.
He's dead, yeah.
You forgot Henri died?
I totally forgot he died.
In the book, every time I read it, it makes me cry.
Radical.
Just because, like, the little speech he gives right before he dies, he's like, John, like, I forgive you. And I'm like, aw, you shouldn't. John really fucked up. Like, he's literally the whole reason you're dead. But, okay, you're a good father figure, I guess. Sarah Hart, cheerleader extraordinaire, blonde, American, blue-eyed gal.
Hell yeah.
Mark James, Jockey McJock.
Hell yeah.
Bernie Kosar, BK, good boy.
Little guy.
Number 6, badass queen of queens. I got a hiccup there. Marina. So her name is Spanish. So I would say Marina.
Yeah.
You say it how you would say it with your American accent.
Maria.
That's not her name. Marina.
Number
7, kind of a pussy. Adelina. Marina Sapon, bitch. So that's how I wrote those. And this list is just going to keep getting longer. This list is going to get so fucking long. Because, okay, so we introduced the 6 remaining, or the 5 remaining.
Yeah.
Of the 6 remaining. So we have John, 6, and Marina, who's number 7.
Yeah.
So we still have 3 more to introduce. Not only that, we have 2 special surprise characters.
Radical.
And then we have a couple of Sapons here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at 10 right now. Plus another surprise character.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 more surprises. So up to about 15 main characters that...
are important.
Yeah. Do you have any predictions on who you think your least favorite character is going to be?
Sam.
Why do you not like Sam?
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, I forgot you were a jock in high school.
Yeah, I'm so jock.
You were Jockey McJock in high school. What else category would... Oh, I would have put you in with the weird kids.
Mm-hmm.
You were a weird jock.
Walk.
You can't say that. Okay.
Captain. I forget sometimes I was the captain, one of the captains of the track team.
I'm the captain now.
I'll, like, so often.
And as you can tell, Justin peaked in high school, and that's why we have a reading podcast.
Hell yeah, baby.
No, it's okay, because I was an emo goth kid.
Nerd.
Yeah.
You were a nerd.
Was I a nerd?
You were a nerd.
Why? Don't put your hands out like it's clearly obvious I was a nerd. I didn't play 20 nerd sports like you did.
Nerd.
Outwardly, I was giving goth. What?
Goth nerd.
How can you... Okay, anyways. Our first chunk of chapter...
Strings.
You were in strings! We were both in strings! And I played the most badass of all.
No.
I played the viola.
That's the nerdiest one.
No, it's not. She needs love. Love the viola.
That's the nerdiest one.
It's the sexiest one because
The
it's like a
coolest
cello
one
but tiny. Is the cello?
Is the bass.
The cello sounds the best. The bass is boring.
The bass is boring, but it's also the coolest.
A bass is big, but not in a utilization type of way. You can't
most
bash somebody
radical
over the
is
head.
the cello.
The best is the cello. We're done. We're gonna start the book.
The normal one
This is
is
what
violin,
happens when you've been married for...
and then the
how long have we
nerd-ass
been married?
one is viola.
But I wasn't any good at strings.
Yeah, neither were... No, yeah.
That's why we were in those shit strings.
Yeah.
Okay, stop. Justin, seriously? I'm really trying to start telling this story. I'm really eager to tell this story. And it's going to be super easy and not split up at all, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so we start with Marina. This is where we meet her. Her name is Marina, which means of the sea.
Marina Menendez.
Okay.
From the movies.
From the UDF gas station commercials.
Hell yeah.
Marina is... Oh my
Marina
god.
Menendez
Do you think
on
you
the
can interrupt me?
podcast?
Wait, what's the basement yard TikTok sound where it's like... I'm never gonna remember it.
Cool. That's a dope joke.
That was really funny.
That's a good joke for our podcast.
Well, okay, I'm still trying to remember it. I can't remember it. Maybe I'll post it on TikTok. If people followed us on TikTok, you'd see my rad TikToks. TikTok. Can I start the book now, or are you going to keep interrupting me?
I don't know.
Unless you're interrupting me with a spoonful of mashed potatoes, you shut the fuck up. Okay, Marina is almost 18 years old, and she knows damn good and well that she's Lorik, as she was a little bit older when they landed, so she was probably 6 or 7 when they landed. She also truly understands, like, what they lost, because she was much older than the rest of them. Her and her Sipan, Adelina, had a really hard time finding a place to live and making money. Adelina was not as good as Henri or some of the other Sepans. Why are you giving me that face?
I have my eyes closed because they hurt.
He's falling asleep. So Adelina wasn't as good as making money or like finding a place. So they kind of learned through like a full year that humans can be kind of assholes.
What?
I know, right? And in very Jesus-y spirit, they arrived at a convent in a small village in Spain and were given a room at the inn.
Cool. I love convents and all the good things they do.
Well, good, because there's a lot of good things they do. Which reminds me, we're probably going to talk about religion in a bad way. Nah.
That's how we do.
That's how we do it.
We don't talk about religion in any other way.
Mm-hmm. They have now been at this convent for 11 years.
Too long.
So Adelina has completely given up on their Lorik journey. She now truly believes the word of God.
Radical.
And it is a devoted woman in the convent. But Marina knows the truth. She knows that, from her very small amount of internet, there's a terrorist duo in the US, John and Henri Smith, who are probably also Lorik, and that something very big is happening and she has to find him. So that's kind of how we open. What do you feel?
What? Terrorist duo?
Yeah, so she, well, I'll just keep going. So Marina, she's waiting to use this old-ass computer in the convent orphanage she lives in. She's the oldest girl, and she's only got 5 more months before she gets to go. And her Sepan has lost her connection to the Lorik and refuses to move on.
Cool.
So now she can't, like, do anything but wait until she's, like, freed from the convent at 18.
Radical.
She's waiting for 2 bullies to finish their online time, and as they're taking forever, and are assholes, she subtly uses her telekinesis to freak them out. But when she's going on to see what the terrorist duo, the Smiths, who blew up a school and killed 5 people, she doesn't get to, get on the computer. It's so old. So what we're learning from Marina's perspective, from, the outside world's perspective, the school blew up. John and Henri were blamed, as I would also blame them. They show up 3 months before a huge school, the school's flattened.
Yeah.
5 people are dead, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
That would be a little suspicious. And there's no trace of them before.
Yeah.
Hi, Stinky. Ow, shit. Christ. It's a nail clipping kind of night tonight. Ow. So again, it's a convent, so they have prayer time. And during this, she thinks about how her relationship with Adelina has completely changed, and she has no idea what to do with things. She sneaks out back to the computer room and reads about the terrorist groups, the Smiths, and apparently the newest update is they uncovered a bunch of counterfeiting stuff in Henri's house, and they're now considered international terrorists.
That's the lamest name for some terrorists.
And the Smiths.
Yeah.
I don't know, have you seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Chef's fucking kiss, bro.
So many times.
We should watch it again. I love that movie.
I'm good right now.
Impossible. She recalls a situation years ago, when her and Adelina found an account online, or Marina, found an account online called 2, and it said 9, now 8. Are the rest of you out there? And within seconds, somebody responded to it saying, "We're here." And mere seconds after that, the second scar appeared on her, and she knew 2 was dead.
Radical.
She also reveals a second legacy outside of her telekinesis, that she can bring plants back to life. But there's kind of no more specifics on that.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about Marina so far?
I'm not understanding what's happening, but I'm rolling with
It's because it's starting with a different perspective.
Yeah.
So. You're good now?
Okay, let's just start off like that.
Oh.
Because we're back.
Yeah. It's not going to be a very seamless transition if we pretend it like this.
It's not going to be a seamless transition. I have totally different energy right now.
What? No, I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
We had to take a break.
Just for a couple hours.
And by hour, he means 2 or 3 days. 2 days. Right? Today's Wednesday? So yeah, just 2 days. Not CP anymore. We're going to finish this last bit.
Wide fucking awake, even though it's 3 hours later than we were recording the first time.
Yeah, it's 8:30 right now. So it's reading held hostage at night.
In the dark.
Tell me what... I guess we don't have to go through what you remember from last time, because this isn't a full brand new episode.
Nope.
So we can just keep going. So the last bit we have was that Marina, the new character, showed that she can bring plants back to life.
Marina Menunez.
Okay, you already did that the first time round.
That's a good bit.
Now we're back to John, who's having a vision or a hallucination. It's kind of like in Twilight when they're like, "These are normal, right?" And it's like, no. You shouldn't be seeing stuff.
I've done my fair share of the fun plant. And have multiple, brain injuries.
Well, concussions, majority of them.
You're not supposed to call them concussions anymore.
It's not a TBI, is it?
It's a mild traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
I believe. Never hallucinated.
Mm-mm.
And I have a lot of mental illnesses.
Just fucking rat your whole self out then, eh?
I've probably auditorially hallucinated twice, and
seeing things
freaked me the fuck out for 3 weeks.
If I see something, if I'm having a actual hallucination and I'm coherent, I'm aware that that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, a full-on dream, wide awake.
Yeah.
Nah.
Freak out.
Yeah.
I freak out at my dreams. So anyways, John's having a hallucination.
And it's just chill. It's just one of those chill ones.
Well, not really, because there's a bunch of Moogs around him, and he's in a strange place. They're speaking a different language, and they seem to be talking about the situation where they lost John and Six at the school. And they have no idea what happened, but they got away, ended up killing a significant bunch of them. And during this vision, he can hear someone saying his name, kind of like Sam, but he can't hop out of it. Red flag. Something's wrong. The largest of the figures comes toward him, and he seems to know, like, who he is. Like, that's one of the guys I need to kill.
That's Dan.
Okay. But he's 20 feet tall, but looks relatively human, minus the height. He's
Dan's tall.
He's taller than an avatar. The Blue People avatar.
How tall are they? 10
14 feet.
14. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't
either. That's why I know it.
Like, whenever they show, like, people in avatars side to side in the movie, it's like, no.
They're like 2.5 whole humans.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this guy approaches John, and he's like, his pendant, he's got, like, his pendant, John's pendant is freaking out. Not his penis, his pendant.
I thought Dan was, like, blinged out.
Well, wait. And the man has a grotesque purple scar along his neck.
Gross ass.
And the man Moog, the 20-foot man Moog, says, "Hey, I've been expecting you," and just fucking yeets his sword into John's neck, but John wakes up right before it kills him, like, right before it would have killed him.
So wait, was this a dream or a hallucination?
I'll go into it. It wasn't normal. That's for goddamn sure. Sam and Six have been woken up by him and were worried. They're like, what the fuck? And Six is like, hey, you were speaking Mogadorian and even some Lorik. Cool. Bruno wants love so bad right now.
Please love him.
Which is strange because he obviously doesn't speak those languages. And they're in this, like, motel room that they've been in for a week hiding out. So it's only been about a week since the disaster at the school.
Their terrorist attack.
Yes, and John is now considered a fugitive.
Radical.
They kind of don't really talk about this because John's not like, hey guys, I just hallucinated.
Yeah.
They were like, hey John, you were speaking. And he's like, that's crazy. That's
Don't
so
terrorists
crazy.
usually have, like, an ideology behind it?
Yeah. I think typically. It's kind of the same thing as a cult, but more outwardly aggressive versus, like, kind of inwardly trying to control.
Yeah. That's the,
They do have an ideology.
Yeah.
They're not terrorists. I would describe them more as a cult.
If you're from a different planet and are trying to survive, is that cult?
If somebody told me they were from a different planet and trying to survive, I would think it was a cult.
Yeah, outwardly.
That's
yes.
what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sam tells him, hey, there's news about us. There's not a reward being offered for Sam. And Sam's like, that sucks.
Whittly, what the hell? I did Taoism too.
I did it too. They talk for a bit and they're like, hey, we gotta go soon. And John, like, kind of reflects on how hard it's been this past week with Henri dead, but he's so glad that BK's still alive. He's still really beat up, but he's alive.
Really sucks that the guy that I've lived my whole life with died, but at least that dog that's been here for 3 weeks is chill.
Yep. They decide to go to North Carolina. Like, they're just kind of, like, making shit up, but Six had hit her chest there previously. It's no longer there. And this way they can avoid West Virginia, as that's the one place she knows for certain Moogs are there. They pack up, and John is like, oh, woe is me.
Are they in the capital?
The capital.
The Moogs control the government.
You're not as far off as you think you would be. They're like, oh, John's like, oh, woe is me, I miss Sarah, wah, wah. And Sam gives him everybody haircuts, and John realizes, like, Sam's kind of into Six, and they head out on the road. And this is the point where I'm just going to point out that they are 15 to 17, 16 to 17, 18.
Yeah.
They're horny teenagers. I'm just going to say it.
I just don't think teens are horny, ever.
Well, here's the thing is, I don't care about love in this type of book.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, give me the cool parts. It's like Hunger Games, where I'm like, I just don't, like, Gale's like, literally it's Gale right now. That's how I, like, how much I hate Gale is how much I feel about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's like, dude, hey.
Is now the time?
Yeah.
Like, it's now really the time to worry about who's falling in love with who? We have to make a plan.
I get the thing that he's saying right now of, like, oh, maybe they're being...
Yeah, maybe they're cute. Okay.
Maybe they're cute to each other.
Yeah.
But, like, in Hunger Games where they're, like, you need to declare your love.
Yeah. Definitely different, but the way I feel about Gail being like, well, why not me, is the way I feel about like relationships in these types of books, where I'm like, I get it, I get the thrall. Trust me, I read fantasy romance adult novels as an adult.
Blue.
But these are teenagers, and there's like a war.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so they're on the road, and Six tells John and Sam her story. They were in Texas after leaving Mexico. Apparently, she was the one who responded to, and I'm sure you remember this in our 2-day gap, the internet posts where somebody named Two posted about it, and you remember that?
Oh, where that guy posted and then
They
dead.
immediately died, yes. You do remember it. I'm proud of you.
Hell yeah.
And the Mogs were on their trail, obviously. They had talked to somebody online. And they caught up to them and started attacking them in Texas. And these Mogs look like regular, normal people. Not scouts, not soldiers. And they attacked.
They're the lizard people from the government.
That's QAnon.
Oh.
I learned so much about QAnon recently. Not because I'm in it, but let me just...
No, wait, why?
but one of my podcasts that I like to listen to, and That's Why We Drink, did a 3-part series on it. Very interesting. Anyways.
She be sipping.
They're in Texas, and like I said, these Mogs surround them, but then like a bunch of men like stand up for them, and like they have guns, so they start attacking because...
Don't kill these people. We're men with guns in Texas.
And they're able to leave. She's only 13 at this point. So they hid the chest a few weeks later before the Mogs caught up to them again. And this is when we learned that everything in the chest turns to ash when the Lorik connected to it dies. So 1, 2, and 3's chests
Ain't got nothing
are
in them.
ash.
Yeah.
But 6's chest, who the Mogs have currently, could, if they can get it open somehow,
Yeah.
they can access those things. Are you going to sneeze? Bless you.
No, it's just my nose hurts.
Okay. Hurts.
I don't know.
Okay. So they talk about how, that They Walk Among Us people knew that number 7 was in Spain and 9 was in South America. And as they're talking about that, they're like, well, that's crazy. And then the police sirens turn on behind them. POV switch. It's Marina again. What?
Here to do trivia at the AMC Theater.
Oh my god. It's cold and snowy in Spain, and she dreams of a girl with raven hair asking her to take her hand.
Raven hair?
It's 6. 6 has... Raven is like dark black.
Okay.
And,
She just got a bunch of birds.
a bunch of birds up there. Another hallucination. There we go.
It's so good that we speak so clearly because we have
I
a
kind of
podcast.
have a lisp-ish. And Marina gets ready for Sunday Mass, God's Day.
The Lord.
And there's like this big dinner afterwards that she's got to do shit for. Adelina comes to talk to her, and Adelina is just in her own little fucking world. Adelina's her Sapon. And she, like, no longer really outwardly believes in the Lorik and the Lorien, like, in the planet Lorien. She's like, it's a fairy tale. And Marina's like, it's not a fucking fairy tale. And they fight about it, and Marina's like, if it's a fairy tale, can I do this? And, like, does telekinesis, and Marina slaps her. Or Adelina slaps her. And after she leaves, like, Marina, like, kind of does some, like, oh, woe is me thing about, like, everything they did before they came to the church. They had a really hard time finding a spot.
I'm sorry. I can't focus because one of our
Because you have ADHD.
cats, Stinky, is licking the inside of the mouth of another cat we have.
Of Stomp, who is
Stomp's.
weaker and cannot get away.
Yes. He is just in his mouth.
Just guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes, hanging out.
After their long-ass church mass, she cooks these food and then heads into town to see her one and only friend, who's an adult male, Hector Ricardo. He's not pervert or anything, but I think it's personally still weird. He's also the town drunk.
Cool.
Who she befriended at age 13.
Radical.
And he promised to be around to protect her if she stuck around. Which, again, he's not a pervert. He's, like, genuinely a really nice guy, but it's still, in my personal opinion, an inappropriate relationship. She's just so desperate for friendship. Like, she gets bullied by the other girls in this area.
The nuns.
And the nuns, yeah. After dinner, she steals some non-perishable items and heads to this cave where she stockpiles all of this food, and like she also paints. She's a very talented painter.
She's kind of a prepper.
Yeah, but for a real reason.
Yeah.
Not the fake real reasons I have.
No, she be prepping.
Yeah. She walks to this little cave and has been painting in it for a few years. And she has a really strange feeling that someone's, like, watching her. But, she's really smart. She figures out all these types of things by her lonesome because Adelina is not there helping her like Henri was. Mm-hmm. Like, she figures out, hey, it's snowing. I need to walk to the cave. So she wears a blanket on her back to get the snow across her footprints. Mm. Which I think is pretty smart. Like, again, she doesn't have anyone helping her. This is where we learn her third telekinesis, healing plants. We learn that she has the ability to see in the dark. And she paints and all that kinds of stuff and reflects on other paintings.
Just in the dark.
Yeah, just a gal being in the dark, doing in the dark
gal
things.
in the dark. How fucking creepy would that be if you walked into a room, turned the light on, someone's standing there painting a painting in full color.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what's up?
She's like, turn the lights off. You made it look different. It doesn't look right now. But she paints like things like John Smith's face, the raven-haired girl from her dream, and she also even has a painting because she was older. She's almost 18, so she was older when they arrived on the planet. A vivid painting of the view from her room back when they were on Lorien. When she gets back to the church, they're introducing a new orphan girl, which is obviously like a really sad thing to do, who looks to be about 7 and has auburn hair, which is...
It's not like when they introduce a new islander to Love Island.
No, way sadder than that, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And as she's being introduced, Marina looks outside and sees a strange man staring at her.
Radical.
Freaks out a little. I would too.
Yeah.
Yep. He has black hair, a thick mustache, and eyebrows. And she goes back to, like she does, like, a double take, but he's gone. And Alina pops out. She's like, hey, so sorry I smacked the shit out of you earlier. That was crazy, right?
That was crazy. That was so wild.
That's
my
crazy.
God.
And she's like...
You're fine, though, right?
You're good, though? Like, we don't have to talk about it anymore, and I don't have to acknowledge your presence for the next 10 more years?
Cool.
Sounds great. And Marina's like, hey, shut up about the smacking me thing. Weird. There was a man outside. And Adelina's like, no. No, that's simply not true.
Sorry for smacking you and not believing in you, but I'm not going to believe in you.
Not going to start now, that's for fucking sure. And Marina, like, goes over to, like, the window and sees footprints. So, like, she knows she's not making it up. And she's just kind of left to freak out by herself. And speaking of freakouts, we're back to John. They freak out about being pulled over, obviously. Yeah. The officer's not fooled. He's like, I know you guys are in a stolen car. You're on a dope run.
They are smuggling the devil's lettuce.
Smuggling dope. And at this point, he doesn't recognize them as, like, terrorists from Ohio. And then he does, because they fuck. They're like, get out of the car. And they're like, he's like, where's the dope? And he sees the chest, and he's like, that's it. It's gotta be the dope. And then they start, like, fighting, and they're like, oh, you're the terrorists. And so, you know, more sirens are coming around, and that's, like, around when the officer is like, you're terrorists. But somehow he already called for more backup for a simple dope run.
I mean, the way the cops move on that is just...
Yeah. 3 teenagers, though. Anyways, they start running.
I mean, you see how many police they send for one person of color.
I know. Dangerous. The 3 of them...
Oh, wait, they're all white.
Yes. But they do have a dog.
They do have a dog.
Which, as we know,
they would have just killed the dog.
Dog's dead. They're shit out of luck running, and they're like...
Oh, I haven't done this bit in a little bit. 30%. Mm-hmm. Or no, wait, what? It's 40%, right?
I think so.
I forget the percentage. Just look up cops and percents.
Are you done?
And home life of
okay, I'm gonna keep going.
officers.
So they're running, and they're like, shit, we're fucked, because the dogs, even if we disappear, because again, she can make people invisible, 6, the dogs are gonna be able to track our scent. How did they get dogs out there so fast? I don't know.
Got those good boys with them.
Good boys. There are not as many police dogs, let alone as many bloodhound type scent snip. Like you have to
dogs,
specially call those dogs in, and it can take a while for them to get in.
Yeah.
Speaking of those types of dogs, true crime real quick. There was a true crime case where a dog sniffed out in a lake on a college campus a bloody sheet and was like, "You need to go in there." And they were like, "The dog's broken. It's barking
dog.
It's barking at the water." And they went in there and they found the sheet, and the stupid killer didn't even take off the matching sheet he had on his bed. And so they found him that way.
He got the Toy Story sheets on the...
Literally, it was some very distinct pattern where it wasn't like a white sheet where they were like, "Oh, there's their matching white sheets." It was like a distinctive pattern. Yeah. Fucking idiot.
Dude, did you see the, now we're just talking about...
Now we're just talking. Tell me what's up.
Did you see the police officer that was caught giving hand signals to the drug dog to alert it?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's just like, we all knew you were doing that, but got yourself caught on your own body cam doing that?
Are you stupid? Yeah, but are you stupid?
Not that anything's going to happen to
No.
them or the police dogs in general or anything.
Well, police dogs, ACAB. People finding sniffing dogs, I'm fine with that.
Well,
They're
all
different.
dogs are good boys.
That's true.
Some
Except for the foster puppies we've had in the past.
Raised by cops.
Yes.
And that's bad.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready? So there's a river, and they're like, "Perfect, we can swim across this river." And it's like late January, and BK's like,
"No.
Don't do that." And like even Sam's like, "Hey, I'm literally a human." And Six is like, "We are also not equipped to handle this. We are also not equipped to handle this type of freezing temperatures." And so they hand BK like their nasty sweaty shirts to drag in a different path. BK's like still fucked up from...
He's just limping away.
No, literally, he's got a broken leg. He's got gashes all over him. He still can't walk proper.
Yeah.
And then Six baffles the both of them, Sam and John, by Mosesing the water, splitting it in half so they don't freeze and they can just walk across the bottom of
did that?
Six. She can control the elements.
Okay. Do you know water makes sense stronger?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So it just doesn't work.
Again, they wouldn't actually have these sniffer dogs too fast.
But...
They're specially called in.
Yeah.
They're like privately owned and trained.
Like 80, like, I don't know the percentage. I'm just pulling it out my ass. But I don't think like any police dogs are like
they're drug
either
trained.
Drug explosive or like attack dogs.
Yeah. And you have to specially train each of them individually, so it's just that pisses me off because I'm an old person.
Mm-hmm.
They are able to escape for a bit from like a helicopter by turning invisible. BK pops back around, and then second helicopter that they didn't expect comes around.
2 helicopters.
And Six pulls out like a big ass storm.
She fucking crashes the helicopter.
They pull them out of the helicopter first. Okay.
They suplex a helicopter, but take the people out.
Which sounds like a super and easy endeavor, even when you have telekinesis. Doesn't sound hard at all. Then there's a bunch of officers around the corner. They have to fight. As they fight, John gets like busted down, makes his way back up, and Six and John just start fucking sprinting, full sprint with like Sam over the shoulder, everything in their hands. And they're able to escape because when they sprint, like... They're fast. And they end up hopping a freight train in Tennessee. And this is when Six tells more of her story of Katerina being captured in upstate New York. Katerina and Six were overwhelmed, eventually. The Mogs had...
Who's Katerina? Her
Sapon.
Okay.
They were overwhelmed by the Mogs and eventually drugged and bound.
Radical.
Then they woke up. Well, she woke up alone in a hollowed out mountain. Don't know how she knows that's where she was. She was in a cell.
Yeah, you kind of see a cell and you're like, this is a cell.
Yeah.
And then you like look a little finer and you're like, this is a cell in a hollowed out mountain.
Been there, done that. She later learns that it was in West Virginia and that the Mogs had been following them the whole time as they had bugged their car in Texas. She was alone, being starved, but she never felt hungry, which she learned was due to the charm's brilliance. She never felt, like, starved. And when the Mogs finally came round...
Hey, how does that work, though?
It just protects them. Nobody's gonna die of hunger because they're not feeding her.
What? Oh.
That's
the
your
calories
answer.
have to come from somewhere.
Space calories, bro.
Oof.
I
hate magic that ignores the laws of physics.
They literally have magic powers and use telekinesis.
I know. But I hate magic that...
Harry Potter.
Hate it.
No, you don't.
No. The Harry Potter magic system is fucking stupid.
I know it is.
And we'll talk about it when we do Harry Potter.
Don't they literally poop their pants and just go away? Isn't that what they did before toilets? Yes, it is what they do.
That was a joke.
I like it. I'm actually making it canon right now.
I forget who said that joke, but that was a joke.
I bet it was J.K. Rowling as a joke, and everyone was like, she said it, it's canon! I got you.
Oh, I have to find where that comes from.
I'll just Google it right quick.
Oh, we're Googling stuff? We're bringing back this segment?
Harry
Potter poop their pants.
Potter poopy pants. Potter
poop their pants and make it disappear.
Pants. I googled Harry Potter poopy pants. What do you think the first thing to pop up is?
Make it disappear?
Fanfic. Did you mean Harry Potter poopy pants as a combined word fanfiction? Because I split the word up. And then the first fanfiction to pop up is fanfic. Harry Potter and autism.
What?
Harry Potter. And then just the real quick first note is, it's okay, Harry. Just shit your pants.
Oh.
The Hell's Elf will clean it away. Albus says.
Oh!
We might have to do a spin-off where once a month we read a bad fanfic.
Oh, no.
Okay, anyways. She was in a torture chamber with Katerina in front of her, and a Moog begins torturing Six. But, you know, that's when they learn about the chart. Yeah, he gets fucked up. He doesn't die, though. And this is when they start harming Katerina. And he's like, tell me everything. And Six is like, okay, yeah, absolutely.
Radical,
because she's 13.
Yeah, she's a child.
When we as an adult know, and it probably wouldn't make a difference if one of us were being tortured, if they were like, tell me everything, I won't kill him. We know they're still going to kill him.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty fucking useful tactic.
Yeah.
She tells them everything she's able to remember. But at least she was able to lie about what number she was. She was like, I'm number 9, not number 6. I guess that's important.
I'm number 50.
You guys are fucked. After all that, the Mog still ends up killing Katerina. And she's comforted at least by the fact that Katerina had not been tortured in a very horrible way, which I agree.
Do you know that's how they did SEAL Team 6?
I don't know what that is.
SEAL Team 6, the people who killed Bin Laden.
Okay.
It's a Navy elite, whatever. How do you not know what's... Okay.
You think I was engorged in politics prior to Trump?
Yeah. Hell yeah. But apparently the third...
You weren't either. You're just a boy.
They're the third SEAL team.
That don't make no sense. Okay.
Yeah. They were the third one established, and they were like, 6.
Numero 6, please. After Katerina's death, the Mogs try to kill her all kinds of crazy ways, but they all end up dying. And she was eventually there for 185 days, which is 6 months, when her first legacy appears, invisibility. Perfect.
Where's she at?
And it took her 2 days to master it enough to escape, which she did, after fucking massacring the Moog who killed Katerina.
Makes sense.
And she hoped she could get her chest back from where they hid it, but they couldn't. It had already been taken, and Six is like, hey, John, you should open your chest soon. You know, like, it's time. Which, honestly, fuck off. Like, let him open it on his own goddamn time.
Hey, you know this chest that you can only open with your dead friend?
That has his ashes and a secret letter from him that you haven't read yet.
How does it have his ashes?
They put it in there.
They just
scooped it up like a can.
What?
They're in like a coffee can.
Okay.
Like Due Date coffee. Have you seen Due Date?
I have seen Due Date. Due Date is a good movie.
Remember when the Jamie Foxx character
makes coffee out
with
of the
his
guy's
ashes?
death.
I love that. He's like, this coffee sucks.
How do you
what?
It doesn't smell or look like like coffee.
No.
How do you get that through the machine being like, this is coffee?
I don't know. Maybe I can't. Okay, chat the next bit. So we're back in Marina's POV. She wakes up early, gets Ella ready for school. Again, Ella's the new kid. And Marina spends time... Stop messing with the cat.
I'm not.
Marina spends time thinking about how her second legacy developed, which is super cool. And again, remember, she's bullied with no one to help her. Her ability is to breathe underwater, and I want you to think about how she might have gotten that ability.
Nuns dip that witch in the well.
No, but some kids at this like weird little camp they go to in the summer pushed her off something and then just like held her under, and she just kept like she was drowning.
Yeah. And
then she like is like, oh, I can breathe.
Wait, why weren't they drowning? And she not drowning?
Because her legacy is gonna develop.
Yeah, but the curse.
But it's not technically life-threatening if she's got the legacy for it.
So if someone went up to John before his legacy developed and set him on fire...
I think it's a little bit more gradual than that.
The thing would be like, nope, he got the legacy. It's his fault.
It might give him the legacy at that point.
He should have set it up first.
Well, I think that's what happened. Because she, like, fucks with them, and then she just, like, hangs out under the water for a long time and pops back up. That would scare me. And she still gets bullied by these fuckers.
You're like, you bullied the immortal fish woman.
Nothing better. She goes into town for school with Ella, and they meet Hector, who's taking care of his mother, who's very sick with Parkinson's and a couple of other things, and he's very sweet to both of them. In class, she thinks about what she knows about John Smith and wonders how he escaped 35 cops, 2 copters when he was in Tennessee, and she has no idea how to get answers until she remembers, like, the chest exists. So presumably Marina's timeline is, like, 2 days ahead of what we just learned about John.
So, is she gonna cut off this woman's hand, or...
Don't think that would work.
No?
But I don't know. Maybe it would, because it seems like the charm and everything else is like, fuck the Sapons.
Yeah.
We just care about these guard bitches. Okay, back to John. John is having a seriously realistic nightmare.
Radical.
And the one he ends up on, what was... Something about the Moogs. He sees the same big Moog with the purple scar on his neck.
Oh, Dan.
And, airship surrounded by lots of angry-looking Moogs, and he has a magic cane that fucking demolishes one of the Moogs, like fucking vaporizes this motherfucker. And when he wakes up,
magic staff.
They're in this abandoned house in Florida, and you know it was lucky enough it still had the water on. I'm glad they put that in there.
Never let the water run.
Never let the water run. And John finds Sam going through the news while Six is in the swimming pool that she filled with a rainstorm. And they're kind of old trying to decide, like, what's the best way to proceed.
Hey, dog. Rain's gross, for one.
Maybe she filtered it. She does control the elements. She can make a little sand carbon.
But 2.
Okay.
A lot of mold and algae and
bugs,
fungi and bugs.
Maybe Bernie Kosar turns into like a an algae eating type fish and goes in and deals with that. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm just saying that's a gross fucking nasty pool, and I would not swim in it.
Sam makes a comment about John looking at Six in a sexual way, and how Six would never look at Sam that way. And again, they've been together like 3-ish weeks now. And John's like, shit, am I looking at her in a sexual way? He's like, the Lorik only fall in love for life, and I'm already in love with Sarah, so impossible?
Whittly can't have feelings for 2 women.
Whittly definitely can't find 2 people attractive at all at the same time.
Whittly fell in love with the first person I saw.
We did that. in real life.
What the hell?
But Justin, I hate to break it to you. There are attractive people out there that aren't you. And his name's Eddie Burback.
Fuck!
And I love Eddie. And he's a good YouTube boy. They decide to start training that day. And John realizes how much more powerful Six is. Like, she is fucking badass. And to the point where he's like, how is that even possible? Very, like, sexist of him. Like, well, I'm obviously... Like, he's, like, making jokes about it. And they're, like, fucking... Like, to the point where Six is like, they're not fucking funny. She learned all of this while on her own. And they start, like, even Sam joins in on the training, which is good. They start talking about John's vision. This is when he decides to tell them about the visions he just had. And they decide that it's something that happens in the present. So it's a vision and not as much of a hallucination. And John's like, hey, I'm freaked out because the last bit of my last dream, the purple neck guy... Dan. Was holding up 3 Lorik charms from the previously 3 killed guard. And John realizes, like, this guy got on a ship. Holy crap. Could he be coming to Earth? It could take him, like, 2 or 3 months, because Mogador is closer to Earth than Lorien. Any questions so far?
How is he going to sail all the way there?
I've seen... Treasure Planet.
You sure?
Yeah, I
was lock in that answer.
It was Treasure Planet. I was getting it mixed up with Atlantis in my head.
Oh,
they feel the same. Back to Marina, because why not? Adelina hid the chest from Marina when they arrived at the church, so she's been searching for it herself ever since, and can't fucking find it. And as she's becoming closer to Ella, she's like, "Hey, shit, like." Oh, okay. So she's getting closer to Ella. Then during Mass one day, Ella laughs during Mass.
Oh, dude. You cannot do that in Catholicism.
Because the next thing is...
God's not funny.
They're caught by the mean nun, and Marina knows that Ella's going to get beat with a paddle.
God ain't got no jokes for the Catholics.
Marina runs off trying to find Ella, hoping she can avoid the beating. He literally wasn't going to do that.
He was probably going to bite that.
Bruno, our cat, is like... I know we're all off topic, but he's like literally the worst. Look, he's not even biting it. He's just licking his paw.
He's licking his paw and it happens to be in his paw.
Bruno knocks shit off the counters. He goes around and meows. When he does knock shit off the counters, he takes it and he throws him somewhere else. He's literally like the epitome of like terrible twos in a cat.
Yeah.
And he's sitting on top of Justin's computer that has a wire coming out of it. And he's, like, literally putting his paw on the wire and was licking his paw. And he's like, I'm literally not even eating the wire.
Not even eating the wire.
He's not even stealthy about it. Okay, where was I? Marina tries to find Ella, hoping to avoid the beating, but can't find her anywhere. And eventually she just runs off to her cave and has, like, a really weird feeling. And when she gets to the cave, she can see that there are a set of boot prints going into the cave, not leaving. Which means somebody's still in the cave currently.
Invisible. Stab. Or no, she can't turn invisible.
No. She does show off a new legacy as she runs away. Super speed.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand what... Like, I wish they could give me numbers because they already go fast.
Yeah.
What is super speed?
Yeah, so are the other guys running, like
30, 40? Like
30,
that would,
40?
Which would be an obtainable thing because, like, a human being can sprint like 27, 30 miles per hour for a quick amount of time. But like that would be like something I could imagine.
Yeah, I've seen someone go that fast. Yeah.
So what is super speed in comparison to being able to go 30, 40 miles per hour at a full sprint?
Also, here's the thing. What's the stride length? That's what I always want to know about super speed.
Yeah.
Are they going and have a normal stride length, but it's just really fast?
I think she's got big stride length.
Or is it just jump?
I don't think it's jump. I don't know. But I always picture Marina, she's like 5'7" in my brain. So like, can you imagine walking up on a super speed? Because it's snowing. They can see her footprints and being like, how the
this footprint is 20 feet apart from that footprint.
How the fuck? So, okay. So she goes to Adelina's room and she's like, hey, I'm scared, somebody's here. And Alina's like, that's stupid, you're dumb, the word of God is everything now. And
nothing's funny about God.
She's like, I'm not fucking showing you where your chest is because Lorianne is dead and they can fuck off because they gave us a death sentence by sending us here to Earth. As if being on Lorianne would have been a better fate, but either way, I do get what Adelina is saying.
I literally can't believe the exploding planet sent us away to die.
But we have to think, Henri had kids and a wife. Possibly Adelina had a similar family situation. Yeah. That she was... I am going to use the word forced because who knows what happened.
Yeah.
She's obviously unhappy. Mm-hmm. Doesn't give her an excuse to slap the shit out of Marina or abandon her.
Yeah.
Or gaslight the shit out of her. Because she's literally, like, half the time, she's like, it's literally fake.
Girl boss gatekeep.
She's like, widowy Lorianne is fake.
She's gaslighting her, gatekeeping that chest, and girl bossing her way up the nunnery.
Up the nunnery. I don't know why she isn't a nun. I wonder why not. Anyways, oh, don't you have to... I don't care. Marina then runs off to the city to meet Hector, who's drinking at a cafe. And he's like, what's going on? She's like...
Does she also sound French?
I don't know if Adelina sounds French. I know they're speaking Spanish.
Dude.
What?
A French person speaking Spanish, just, like, the idea of that seems so cringe to me.
I also want to say that Marina was, like, 7 or 6 when she left the planet. She would have retained...
Somewhat.
Not a heavy accent, but she would have retained enough that somebody could, if they were listening, be like, what is that secret accent you've got under there?
Yeah.
So she's talking to Hector, and she sees a man in a coat with a mustache and bushy eyebrows, and he's reading a book called Pittacus of something in the Athenian War, and she's like, this guy's a motherfucking Moog.
I'm reading a book of how to not look like an alien in a cafe.
Yep. And she gets back to the convent, talks to Ella, and who did, in fact, get beat.
Radical.
And they're like, cool, let's pinky promise that we'll always protect each other, even if one of us leaves. And I was like, why would one of us? And Marina's like, shut the fuck up. Pinky fucking promise. And Marina feels confident asking Ella for her help looking for the chest.
Sick.
Back to John.
Oh my god, it's not over?
We're super... Well, with the book, we're about halfway done. With the podcast, we've got one more chunk.
Oh my god.
They've been training for a week and are getting stronger, and Sam's actually showing massive improvement.
He's thick as fuck.
And John's learning lots. 6 is still obviously kicking their asses big time. And though she tells John, she's like, hey, we've been here for a week, it's time to open the chest. To which I say, fuck right off. Like, he'll do it on his own goddamn time. During one of the training sessions...
Dude. Actually, probably a good place to hide weed.
In the chest?
In the chest?
I mean, it can't be opened, except by literally just John.
Yeah.
John and 6 have this weird, like, sexy TV moment where, like, John ends up on top of her, and they're like, OMG, and she ends up, like, and he's like, I know in my heart that Lorik can only have one. Ah! Stinky, you scared me!
Blue just got scared by the cat.
Okay, I'm, like, enthralled in my story, and he just, like, stop! He, like, crawls up my arm. Ow. Oh, shut up. Anyways.
This might be one of our most distracted episodes.
Okay, come on. They have a weird sexy moment, and he knows in his heart that the Lorik can only have one love, so 6 must just be a crush, which, like, I feel like you can be in love with someone.
What if the other person was a crush?
Well, I feel like you could be in love with someone and be like, that person is attractive, and I find them funny. Mm-hmm. Probably not a, crush might be a little too far over the line, in my opinion. But acknowledging attractive levels and that a person is a good person is something I feel like you can still do in a relationship.
Yeah.
Anyways, later that night, he impulsively opens the chest, but refuses to read the letter Henri left. So he settles, like, with Sam and 6, and they begin going through the chest. And the first crystal 6 picks up, leaves her hand feeling numb, and makes her feel bad, and same with John. And 6 doesn't know anything about the chest, because... Again, she never really got to go through it. But they, like, see the healing stone, and then there's another stone that allows the transfer of one legacy from one person to another after, oh my god, stink, after it's been charged. Out of the 17 stones and other bits and bobs in the chests, they literally know what 2 of them do. So kind of seems like Henri failed.
A stone that moves legacies from one person to another.
But it's got to be, like, charged. But
so someone has to give the legacy to the stone.
Yeah.
And then the other person can take it from the stone.
Yeah. Again, it kind of seems like I wrote Henri kind of failed because he didn't teach him shit.
Yeah.
But 6 reminds him that Stinky's on the keyboard pressing my notes away. But 6 reminds him that they might, like, show what these things are. Oh no, you've been banished. Stinky's trying to tell us it's time to go to bed. He can't sleep, so 6 and him go for a walk. It's a little bit more romantic. Is he about to jump up on me again? Okay. And it's a little bit more romantic than they should because they have to hold hands to be invisible together.
You gotta hold hands.
And if you're holding hands, you might as well be having a baby.
And kissing.
Same thing. He's like, oh, I think I might be attracted to 6. And it's like, that's okay.
What the hell?
Okay. And John talks about how Henri was, like, really awesome and how he misses him. And as they're walking along this path, they, like, pop up to a house where a drunk man, like, pulls into the driveway, and he's, like, banging on the woman's door with a gun, and he's like, oh, man, fucking super out of nowhere. And
drunk crashers that really give him a bad
oh, my God. 6 uses her invisibility to show him, like, to fuck off, pretty much. And he runs off.
They just poke his butt.
Get out of here.
Get out.
But they, like, poke into his butthole.
Oh, no.
They don't just, like, poke his cheek. They're like, woo! And he's like, what the fuck? They keep talking, and when they return to the house, about to kiss, what do you think happens?
Sam is like, can I get in on this?
Is that your real guess?
Yeah.
Guess real.
BK comes up like, can I get in on this?
How about if the house fucking explodes? How about that?
Whoopsie.
How about the house explodes? Sam's dead.
Really?
No.
That'd be cool.
That was one of your guesses.
Yeah.
But that's not what happens. And that would not be cool. Sam turns into
I
a
would have
good
been
boy.
right, though. He's a
Marina.
fictional character, and I would have been right. We're not going back to Maria.
We're back to Marina.
We gotta be done with this podcast by now.
After Marina, we're done here. She's super anxious after seeing that Moog in the city, and her mind's constantly racing. She has nightmares, battles, body grounds, people dead, blah blah blah. She wakes up from that nightmare and can't find Ella, who always seems to be, like, out and about nowadays. Or now at night. Because it's at night.
Moog.
Ella's a Moog?
Yeah.
That's your guess?
Yeah.
Okay. And she wakes to, like, Ella, one night she wakes to, like, Ella, like, 3 inches away from her face. She's like, full panic attack mode. And Ella's like, I found the chest.
I found it.
Which seems like exactly like something a little kid would do. Hey, let me get in your fucking face and wake you up.
I know where the chest is.
Ella, like, takes her to the little chest area, and it's, like, hidden pretty good. And Ella has to, like, climb up and drag it out. So as she's, like, up there dragging it, the church bullies show up.
Oh, no, not the church bullies.
The girls. And they start antagonizing Marina, but she's fucking tired of their shit, and she goes ape shit on them. She uses her powers, and she is, like, telekinesising them, super speeding, punching the shit out of them. Like, she is really fucking them up. And at one point, Ella drops down from her hidey hole onto one of the bullies' back, who throws her into, like, a pew or something. They're in the, like, church part of the church.
That would fucking hurt.
And she hits with a sickening crack. Something is very, very wrong. So, Marina makes quick work of the bullies, knocks the fuckers out.
Yeah.
Goes to Ella, who has a bone sticking out of her knee, and her hand is completely mangled.
Yeah.
Marina freaks the fuck out, as the nearest hospital is a half hour away. She doesn't know what to do, but remembers that she has the power to bring plants back to life. Could it heal Ella?
That'd be fucking weird. She's
Hint.
not a plant.
It does. And Ella's all healed. And she's, like, feeling really proud that the damage that was inflicted to somebody who didn't deserve it has been rectified. Which is very Jesus-y. It's all happening in a church.
Mm-hmm.
Ella wakes, and Marina's like, hey, I'm super proud of you for finding this chest. Go wash up.
I'll wash up, kid.
Because she's fucking bloodied. And so she gets the chest down, and she's like, now all I gotta do is find Adelina and convince her to open this with me. John. I'm kidding, we're done.
God damn.
The POV switches.
That episode was bad.
This current
episode was pulling toenails.
Ouch, why would you say that? I'm just a baby. Alright, well, my name's Blue. I love to read. Go follow us on TikTok, which is the only thing I post. I don't do Instagram. I don't know how to do Twitter very well.
We do episodes on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on the YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating if you want.
Or a thumbs up. There's thumbs up on
YouTube.
Yep.
On Apple. We're also on Apple.
If it's a number out of 5, give us 5. That's the
or
only
0.
one you can give it.
Yeah.
Or 0.
Of course.
If it's out of 10, give us a 10 or a 0.
And
if it's a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up.
We'll be back.
Like and subscribe.
With more... Who is this? With more The Power of 6. Next Tuesday, if Justin's not EP. My name's Blue. I love to read.
My name's Justin. I don't like to read it, and I'm so tired.
Are you a Marina or a John fan? Get out.